So in this way, in the days and night, 6 times just getting through the practice to the Guru is important. So, relating with all this chanting, unless somebody is very new, otherwise, just now you all are maybe much familiar with these, chantings. So this, when we do get it through the chanting, thinking that you may not follow it, so that is why we are chanting very slow. But anyhow, it seems that you all chant okay now. But if we chant a little bit faster, we can finish it more. But of course, you not necessarily have to chant like us, how fast we chant. Right now, when you are chanting this Tara, 21 Tara homage, and just very slow. So if you chant a little bit faster, then other practices also you have a little bit more time. And also that the Ringzin Deba Guru Rinpoche practice, and then the Yunga, the Dagini Shitojal practice, you all are just chanting okay. And then that relating with the talk practice, there is one that confessing part that known as Kongsha Torjutulu, that the song of Bachara songs that need to translate and then also try to chant together. In this way, then the talk practice part that it will just become more complete. Right now, still some other prayers are missing. And if we chant very slowly, then that may take whole day. And then and then the Radha Limbas Bhajar Kilaya practice that also have in English translation, we also need to do that practice sometime. And when you get used to just chanting the Bhajar Kilaya practice, then in the morning after the real Sangche practice, then if you do this one, it's good. And then also you need to learn how to just make tormas, and then this spiritual flutes, and then the other instruments. And whatever that practice we do, and these chantings that have to follow exactly like this.
Lord Jatramone, Tati Bad Manjurasi Tatnato Jaya Jaya Poria Tantisakomati, Yontabajeres.
So all this way of just making tormas and chanting prayers, and then the flutes and so forth, that is traditionally followed in this way without any breakage of or changes, like many hundred years. In this way, without just changing anything, and that as we follow exactly in that way, then that one can receive more blessing. And when we know a little bit, then just chanting in one's own kind of like a way, then that is not that much good. And all the past masters, they used to say that the traditional how you just do these chantings, that one should not just lose it. And even like this, the spiritual this telling that flute is also not just only for kind of melody. These all that mostly all the past great masters that traditionally just trained, and when they just go to the pure field, then they just have all this kind of musics, and it is not like just created by ordinary human beings. And even these each and every different tunes of the flute also have different names also. And there is one tune called that Jawayapse, which means all the glorious Buddhas, and then the Bodhisattvas. Then that like Guru Pamasambhava and Sharab and all these beings, when they meet together, then they hear all this specific tune, and in that way it is named. Then there is another tune named Karling, which means that all these the offering ladies that and does all this kind of offering and dances, according to that there is the just specific music which is called Karling. Yeah, and again one that one tune called that Sandoberi, which means that all this Guru Rinpoche and all this inland being going to Copper Color Mountain, then they just hear this specific music, the flute, and in that way it is called Sandoberi. And then in the offerings, there are outer, inner, and secret offering. According to that, there are just separate tunes. So all this, many actually is still just, really lost, but at the same time, still we could preserve lots of, them. And so it is just important if we just, follow and get trained, that it is, it has lots of blessing. And for example, like, the Palyul tradition of the playing the Kyaling, there may be about more than 100 different tunes. But now, these days, we still have preserved about 30, just somewhere there, that much tune, and rest all were just destroyed by the communists. And those monks and who have good quality, just trained in that way, good knowledge, and they were just killed. And then there is no that transmission or training, then it is lost. So still that we have whole complete, the practice where whatever that, these tunes and music and so forth, and that you can just, possibly learn. Of course, it may be just difficult to learn whole complete thing, but at least, during this puja prayer time where we could just do and then, chant together. And one have to learn it, properly. It is not that, just kind of like just creating or just showing one's ego, just, thinking I know it. And even we just use the symbol, then it also has, just all this specific training, how you hold it and how you just, that play it. So in this way, if you all also have some training in this way, then it doesn't mean that just that only these our monks have to just do it and you don't not necessarily have to do it. And if you guys really don't know, then of course we have to do it. Mostly actual problem is that you guys really don't have time. So everything is that even you do practice, you don't have enough time, and even you want to learn all these kind of things, still you don't have time. So all problem is that you really don't have time. And in this way, if you get trained, and then we all be assembled together and then chant and do everything together, then you will feel just kind of just enjoying. And even even in India, of course, there are many monasteries, but among them, that our monastery has like a whole complete that traditional chanting and instruments and everything that in a way not really missing. And also all our monks that depending upon their just character that they have good knowledge on these, practices. So in this way, you all also need to train just how you can chant a little bit faster, so that you can also have some time to chant, other more practices. And then today, Tungse Rinpoche, Tungse Trilenobu Rinpoche, he is coming here to visit. Possibly just about 1 o'clock, somewhere there he is arriving. So in one way calculation, today is the 10th day, and in one way yesterday was the 10th day. So when Tungse Rinpoche arrive here, then hopefully he will do some just blessings and so forth. And then the Tungse Rinpoche, of course, he is the son of His Holiness Tunjung Rinpoche, and very great learned and that just a practitioner who is like a just kind of chattel who don't care for anything. Just being born as the just son, which in Tibetan we call Tungse, that carrying through kind of that lineage, not really lineage, kind of the bone, just genes. Not necessarily it is something very important. So being born in that family, and beside that having all this training and practice and all this quality, all just knowledge, and that why it is just becoming something very great. So specifically, this Tungse Rinpoche, Trilenobu Rinpoche, that he is just he has great deal of knowledge and highly realized and great deal of practice, and actually just he should live like His Holiness Tunjung Rinpoche, just taking care of more students. But he's kind of just wants to be more quiet and humble. He does not really do in that way. But if he wants to, that he have great deal of knowledge, scholarly understanding, how many these sanghas maybe, he can give all these teachings. So anyway, that it is just fortunate that he is visiting here today, and then our these statues already just stopped in, consecrated. So he will Rinpoche will also do some blessing. It would be very nice.
Lama Gabondachi. Nazawa Yaboma Namahi Duanaji. 所有的蒙古人能爱特别喜欢新的这种的天气，这点嘛的。
At the external look that you might see him like a just old lama that who even don't know how to wear his clothes, and then having his just concerts and kind of like that, but it's not like that. But the inner, the realization is not same, it is just different. In Tibet we have a saying, it says you don't jump after the wolf better not to jump after the tiger. The tiger can jump just a long distance, and wolf or fox that if try to jump then one does not have that much strength, and then break one's just waist, and then so similar like that, all these highly realized masters, their behavior, that there is no way we can do in that way. Some of like those 25 disciples, some who eat the stones. But we cannot eat stones. And some lamas that even the birds flying in the sky, they just can hold it up, and we cannot really do that way. And some lama that they just catch all the scary animals like just dog, they keep it there, and we cannot really do that way. So that the inner realization is just completely different, that there is no way we can just be similar with them. So there in our place in Tibet, there was one realized master known as Choke Tokden, and then he just lived in the forest in a cave, and then doing his practice, and then he just bring back all those tigers and leopards and bears and all those animals, and then tie up with the thread and just live there as his pet animal. So when people go to visit him, then before they reach there, they have to just call the lama. Otherwise, it is very scary with all those animals. And then lama just release all the animal and ask them to go into the forest, and then ask people just come in. And those people just really ask, oh Lama, how do you really just do, just catch up all these, animals? And Lama says, no, it is just, staying in the forest, then we get, familiar to each other. So it is just mainly because that lamas, power of that realization that the animals also become, just familiar, and not necessarily you are just in a forest, for a while, that you could become familiar with those, like tigers and so forth. This Lama is there in the forest just concentrating on his practice. He is not just, looking after those, animals as pet animals. And wherever these, animals are, if he wants, then he can just, call or he can catch it up. So because of his, bodhicitta, that even the animals, they also just really like him, and that is how that no any animal also could harm him. And we, like, just even we see these, deers, and when we walk near, they also just run away. And those lamas, when they say just, come here, then they will come. So for the externally, when we look, that it is just, the human being, they also have eyes, nose, and legs and hands, that it is just seems like same, but the inner, the realization is just, different, even that how they just wear their dress, they really don't care. And these are also, it's not like from their birth they have all this kind of power. It is just because then from their childhood, then they just enter into Dharma and then get all this training and then carry through practice, properly, and in that way, just based on their practice, then within one lifetime they could have all this kind of realization.
But now, that done party, took a measure to then on when Toba Temple, Shea Temple inside, because she here on dinner don't they, Yam Toba, touching Bandi and no tears.
And some, like, many of the treasure revealers, and such as like Tugu Menjur Torche, that from their birth, that they already have that kind of realization and power, naturally that which is kind of arising.
Ami Koponi, the Marshal, the land something here, the Chisung, Avaman, Chandre is a Ndakej Mouse, Kajeton, the Masumbares.
Like as they just as they born immediately, then it started they could see, have the vision of all these deities, and then it started giving all this teaching, and parents are just kind of scared, that saying, oh, you are maybe a ghost, and don't talk all about that.
Then Masum, the Chomer Mocheki doesn't matter, but then law some gets a Masum, you can come.
And then it just never talked, for a while, until that Chomer Rinpoche take care of him.
The Chomer Mocheki Tombo Tristor that there's no, they go and you get their lawyer, there's Savares.
And then Chomer Rinpoche just did some purification, and then just taught him how to read and write. And then just as he was taught, then he said, yeah, this is, I know, Tugu Menjur says, I know all of this. And also know many different languages. And some of them, even that Menjur Dorje just teach to, Chomer Rinpoche.
And
in the beginning, that Chomer Rinpoche just took Menjur Dorje as his disciple, but later on, his just the understanding and realization, he became his master. And whatever that Chomer Rinpoche think, any kind of just thought, instantly, Tugu Menjur Dorje knows everything. So Chomer Rinpoche just mentioned that Tugumanju Toje, when he was very young and just staying together with him, and then he feel like that a very strict teacher is with him. It is just because one time Changme Rinpoche mostly he don't eat the dinner, but one time just he felt a little bit hungry. So then that instantly he could not have the food, so then he just ate a little bit of that leftover thok. And then just the Changme Rinpoche thought, oh, maybe I will eat some of those thok. And then instantly Tugumanju Toje no, and then said, okay, you just go and get some thok. So same like that, that whatever that anything thought arise in the Changme Rinpoche's mind, then Tugumanju Toje knows instantly. So like that, just from many lifetimes, just having all this kind of practice and realization, so naturally all this realization just arises. And many of them just who just born as a very ordinary, and then just look for a teacher, master, and qualified master, and then receive all this training and teaching practice, and through that one could have all this high realization. So there are many different ways. So in this way today, that maybe about 12 or something that Tongse Rinpoche coming here, and then we Holiness also coming back here in temple. You can just queue, have finish your lunch, and then queue up, and then we'll do some blessing for these statues, and then if you receive blessing, if he gives you blessing, then it's good. And then if you have your that this scrap, the kata, then you just bring, and then try to be more just humble. So he usually don't like to sit on the throne, so then we'll just arrange some just chair here, so you just try to bend down and show your respect.
Oh yeah, okay, thank you. Oh yeah. So
today there is no any teaching or instruction.